That's right, because Eisen's not here. Yo, we got carrots.
This recipe looks real tasty.
Fresh squeezed carrots. Dormant are not food. If you squeeze them, you will not get food.
You better be ready.
Just how does this sword work?
Don't touch it. You'll hurt yourself.
In other words, the rest of her is fair game.
Not unless you really want to get hurt.
Oh my. Actually got attacked in a save point. Alright, let's see what's over here. Because I haven't actually looked at this side of it yet. So last night we went over to the Warg Forest where the flowers were. You were up to speed on the flower gathering need, right? Yeah. So we were going to sail to the southern continent after beating up his brother. And there was a cutscene. You know, we just like did plot on the boat. Where I think that was mostly Eleanor being like, "Are you really okay with all these people on your pirate ship?" And guy Benwick, whatever his name is. Yeah. Yeah, we were going to translate the book. And Eleanor was like, "Are you okay with all this bullshit going on?" And it was like, "As long as you're all pirates, that's the creed. We're fine." And then Eisen was like, "So it turns out everybody has some sort of weird like pirate disease that they've been staying quiet about. So we have to go to this other place immediately to fix it." So we got here, and what immediately happened was they were like, "Yeah, this thing that we need to actually take care of the disease, we're fresh out of that flower." And the Abbey's stopping people who can take care of it, who can harvest that flower from harvesting that flower. So we went and we took care of business. Eleanor was again kind of flabbergasted or something. Yo, you can swap equipment that's on with somebody out of the party. So, we took care of that. We got a bug. We don't know what kind of bug it is. People think it's a new beetle, because the demon beetle reverted to being just a beetle after we beat it up. And nobody seemed to comment on this fact.
I'm ready for this.
So, whatever. So, we did that. Halfway back to town, well, we actually saw some more, what do we call the Crusaders in this game? There's a, what's the word? Exorcist. Thank you. We ran into some exorcists on the way back. And basically they were watching the entrance of the forest, and we were, of course, leaving the forest, so they didn't see us.
Is everyone all right?
So everybody hid behind a rock. And we got to hear them talking. And they were like, "Man, have we caught that that other rogue Moloch yet? Has anybody seen this guy?" They didn't really describe him at all, but at least that let us at the party know that something was up. And from there, on the way back, we ran into Zafid, who shot himself with his gun of destiny because he wants to be in a Persona game. I mean, that's my best guess. And they were like, "Why do you have that thing that Ifrid found on the far continent?" At which point he mentioned something about knowing where a pointy-bearded dude was, who, because of conversations on the boat on our way to this
That
town,
was amazing.
we suspect to be a thinly veiled allusion to Ifrid. And so Eisen followed him. And we were like, but we have to take care of your men on the ship. And he's like, you guys can do that. Except he said it much angrier than I just did. He's like, you can take care of it. And he just left. And they both just left. And so now that we brought everything back, what's up, Proto? The crew's like, why the hell did you let him go alone? And we're like, because we needed to save you guys. And they're like, bullshit, you should be saving him. And so after a little bit of little, you know, anime community nonsense there, we are now on our way back to help him out. There's a lot of other talk too about the fact that if the Abbey seems to have a trap there, and basically everybody knows this is a setup.
That's the end for you. What an easy victory. I am invincible.
It also basically appears that
Yeah, my time to shine.
I mean, there was a message back in town that appears to have been from Zafid for the party that we were going up these hills. So Zafid anticipated everyone following him. Yeah, it's a mud slime. Oh my. Why not? I miss when Mystic Arts would hit surrounding enemies too, and that they would actually be stunned afterwards if they survive it. Ow. They're not.
It appears that we're finished here.
So, yeah, basically everyone anticipates that the Exorcists have set some sort of giant cage trap to catch the leader of Ifrit's pirates going to rescue Ifrit. Which is weird because why would they do it here? Why would they do it now? And why does Zafid care? Like, Zafid so far, his only purpose seems to be to piss off Eisen, which is weird to bring a character from another game where he made a lot more sense.
Sorry to cut you down.
Because in that game, he was like a random enemy and stuff like that, but he was at least like, he made some sense within the context of the game world. Whereas right now, he's like, huh? Let's do that, actually.
I have to fight too?
You can sit out with your worn spear for a little while. We'll see how much we can build up for you. Yeah, everybody's gaining experience points and grade and everything else. The stick figure of destiny! You right?
Did you see that? I beat it.
Looks like this is one we can actually cross. Comfy grass. Comfy grass. Bet there's a way to get to that rock in the middle. There's another chest there that, again, No apparent way to get to. It's starting to bother me how many like things there are that I can't get to. Is Zafid going to join this party? I don't think the menu... Maybe we're being thrown off here because the menu looks like everything's nice and centered when there's 6 people. But if you take in the room from the sides, you could squeeze in a 7th. Why would you put the mushrooms in a treasure chest? Alright, I know the last treasure chest then is actually that other island I could see, because I saw it. Even if I couldn't reach it yet, I saw the last treasure chest on the map. This compass has a new feature. A tone will go off whenever there is a key in the room that you just entered.
What's wrong, Lafayette? I was just wondering why Eisen and Zavid can't work together to find Ifrid.
I know, right?
All men their age care about is their reputation, their street cred. Such a hassle.
Oh, really?
Well, I can't fully deny it.
The same could be said of women, and of everyone, really. It's hard to work alongside someone unless you strive to understand their thoughts and feelings.
And if you can't?
Well,
It's like Zavid said. You start talking with your fists instead.
Sounds harder than I thought.
I guess the only other thing I could say about this game is that enforced skits seem to be a thing. I think every other cats you find is giving you an attachment. So this is supposed to be the way to wherever we think things are. Okay, that's interesting. There's a star over there and a voice bubble over there. Fight the lever.
Always ready to fight.
Dark and light. She does have a new art I haven't used yet.
Your style is really unique.
It's Slag Assault, that's what it was from a while ago. Whoa. It's just kind of here. Sin was the good cook. Hi.
I don't think we have a chance.
god. Get this in. That'll give me another soul. Hey, that thing I said I did worked out.
I refuse to fall here.
I don't get what that means. Does that mean if you have a Mystic Heart that has a lot of hit, you get Blast Gauge back during it? I mean, yeah. His current weapon, because of the one upgrade, is actually boosted over what it could have otherwise been. Orc daggers are currently his best weapon, even though he has, you know, these fancy daggers made from the head of a demon. Well, let's fight everybody at once.
Don't get overcome.
Enemies are actually getting a little stronger. I can't just spam the button right now to win. Except I kind of still can.
Did you see that? I beat it!
Laffy has black tentacles. Yeah. He's the only one who's been in the party, I think, every time it's gone off. Probably Voidmire. I somehow attacked the plant from behind.
Come on, put up some fight, okay? Whoa! Hot water is spouting out of the mountain!
And look at those rainbows.
This is one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Bernak Geyser. The water heats up from underground until the pressure forces it to spray up from the surface.
And the rainbows are caused by light reflecting from the salts suspended in the mineral water. It took tens of thousands of years for the minerals to accumulate here and form this phenomenon. Wowee!
That was very educational.
At least you know plenty of trivia, if nothing else.
Additionally, the groundwater veins that feed this geyser are connected to the sea. Because of this, every now and then a boiled octopus or crab will shoot out from the geyser! No way!
That's impossible. Well, not impossible, but
With the salt content of the geyser's water, I bet they're seasoned to perfection.
Magilo, I'm declaring your bizarre imagination the 8th wonder of the world.
People say that all the time.
I was wondering why there was a thing all the way out there. That answers that question at least.
You'll be rust on my blade. See this? Hold up! Hold up! Killing flash! But I'm this close. I won't miss! Form zero!
No mercy! Won't that will That all you got? was angry at it. Hold on. You can read a Guardian's heart? Yeah, sort of.
I'm not sure what they're talking about. Yo, copper coin.
Let's do it!
She has really good aim with these auto-fired big techniques.
I hope I did a good job.
Alright, I think we're finally done with the screen. Aizen.
Aizen!
Did you get the medicine to the ship's crew?
Yeah.
Good. My thanks to you.
These soldiers won't be happy in the morning, but they're alive. Is this your work?
No. They were like this when I got here. It must have been Zavid.
He didn't kill a single one. Interesting.
The Abbey is going to great lengths to arrest him.
Even so, he clearly knows he's walking into a trap. What I don't get is why he roped me into all of this. If he didn't want my help, then what need did he have to play the Ifreed card on me?
He seems a lot
If
calmer
you knew
all of a
this was
sudden.
a trap, why did you come?
To see for myself. When I met Ifreed, I was wallowing in despair that I would ever find a way to break the Reaper's curse. Stop denying reality, he told me. If you were really born with that curse, then it's a part of you. But if the Reaper learns to grasp the wheel of his life, even he may find his creed, his path through stormy waters. And so, I joined him aboard the Von Eltia.
A creed of life.
Let's say someone's murdered the captain. If it came as the result of him living life on his terms, I could accept that. But if anyone, and I mean anyone, tries to crush his way of life, I could never forgive them.
Who's there?
It's rude to eavesdrop.
If you got secrets, talk about them at home.
Zavid, isn't there any way you and Aizen can work together somehow?
I was already
Not
in a
if he's going
Tails
to keep
game.
acting like this. Well, that's how it is.
What was the point of all that posturing? He could have just stayed hidden. Weirdo.
Can't disagree there.
Take a look at this. Scout ship setting.
I mean, I guess I should keep looking for things.
Loringen Tower's a training ground for Exorcist, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the
It's a
place
great
where it is
edifice
is
built on
supposedly a
ancient
training
ruins.
facility.
Laphicet, did you ever go there when you were tethered to Teresa?
I don't really remember the beginning of my service to Teresa.
I see.
What sort of training do they do there?
Exorcists are tested and assigned Malachim equivalent to their aptitude with mana. It's also where they practice Moloch arts and study our laws.
So the lower ranks use it as a sparring ground in order to train up to the higher ranks?
No, an exorcist's affinity to mana is not something that strengthens through training. We are given Malachim based on our inborn ability, then learn arts to suit that ability.
So, an orderly is an orderly for life, then?
Correct.
There'd be no spirit of competition then. Don't they want to get stronger, to advance through the ranks?
There'd be no purpose to advancement. Rank signifies nothing more than the type and number of Malachim one can tether.
But it's still
People
called
join
rank.
the Abbey for only 2 reasons. To protect people from demons, and to save the world.
Are all of you that dedicated to asceticism?
How sickeningly noble of you.
I wonder if your wills are suppressed just like those of the Malachim you use.
Deviants like you could never possibly understand our motives. In any case, that is who awaits you at Loringen Tower.
So we're in for a rough welcome. I say bring it on. I can't wrap my head around Zavid.
We witnessed his unwillingness to kill before, but it seems he's quite serious about it.
Maybe that's why I don't feel scared of him. Even when he and Eisen were about to fight, I didn't feel tense at all.
Perhaps that's just because you've been around Velvet a bit too long, kiddo. Next to her, few people are frightening.
Do you think so?
Don't ask me.
He doesn't come across as vicious. I think that's why you're not scared.
Because he's just a brawler?
Maybe he's just naive.
Okay, so he's just a naive brawler. He's still involved with Eifried's disappearance, and he's also taking on the Abbey. I just don't get him.
Me neither.
Uh-huh.
I agree, but I don't understand any of you either.
Alright, I guess that's all this. That's all there was to that screen. Now that I think about it again, I'm really happy I checked on the ship first. 'Cause now it's probably like 5 minutes into its next trip.
I don't get it.
Get what?
Why did Eifried let Eisen join his ship, knowing he carried the Reaper's curse with him? What good did it do? I just don't see the reason behind it.
Well, if it were me who had that curse, it would mean that you and Velvet could die because of it, right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
If that's the case, then I'd feel like I'd both want to and not want to be close to you two. And I'd probably really, really hate myself for it.
Do you suppose that's how Eisen feels? But Eifried still took him in. He agreed they'd put up with the curse together.
It's all a bit hard to fathom.
Well, if one thing's for certain, it sounds like Eifried's a very strong man. At least for a base lawless pirate.
Don't get careless!
I didn't realize I had another soul out of something. I'm just getting stun locked over here. Demon Fang! Demon Fang! Demon Fang! Demon Fang! As far as I can tell, nobody has Demon Fang yet. Is there anything else really down here that you need? 71.
You know what you're getting into?
slowed. Just look how awkward she is, like, at moving right now. Look at this maximum speed.
Hey, is everyone all right? Eisen, can I ask you about that thing Zavid had?
Because we really want to point out that Zaphid plays Persona.
I've read much of the Abbey's archives on weaponry, but I've never seen anything like it.
He found it when we crossed to the far continent. It's a relic from a long-vanished civilization. He's like me and can't resist a good treasure. But of everything we've found, that one was his most prized.
What is it?
I can't say. It seemed like a weapon, but Eifried wouldn't let anyone touch it. He went off and tested it on his own, then came back all grinning, saying he had an ace up his sleeve the next time we got into a fight.
Then it's definitely some sort of ancient combat device? But why is Zavid looking for Eifried? To apologize for stealing it?
He doesn't seem like that much of a gentleman.
Did he really steal it?
What do you mean?
It's just my feeling, but Zavid doesn't seem like the type
It's
of
comfy,
Moloch to
but
steal something so precious.
I'm still kind of like
He said he just picked it
on
up.
enforced
Perhaps he's
skits
trying to
watching.
return it.
Perhaps.
Looks like he's finally asleep.
Your fight is ready.
You two are so cool.
Don't become like me. Don't try and imitate Ogro, please.
That's about right. No, I think I'm good. Do you want me to get anything for you? Anybody else remember this exact canyon, by the way? Is this the same tower? In theory, I should have looked to see if I was actually missing any hit points first. I mean, yeah, I know it's aha that I'm suggesting that because it's not like I wouldn't watch the skits anyway. But it feels like there's a lot of them and there's a lot more of them, especially since we picked up Eleanor.
Victory is ours.
Cooking level.
I'm done. Anything else need to...
Give my wife some time to come back down before I enter what is clearly the Wind Temple from Zesteria.
But I'm this close. I want this. Form zero. One down.
I hope I did a good job.
Don't waste my time.
Form 0. It's better when he uses it on actual suits of armor.
I can't even call that a fight.
Payoff. Garish pink shirt. No, don't worry about that. What is the name of this place? East Laban Tunnel? I don't remember if there was an East Laban tunnel before. Either way, I found the Wind Temple. Like, the Wind Temple. I don't know if they said in Zestiria that shepherds used to train here. They probably did, but I mean, look at this. Yeah, I know, right? This exact canyon, too.
No one on guard. They're really not bothering to hide this trap.
They probably knew we'd sense it. The question now is just what they're planning to spring on us.
Thing is, they should have had, like, a token guard here. The trick, I guess, with not having a token guard is if they really suspect that we are killers, you wouldn't send the new recruits out as cannon fodder. Because it's like the lower down the ranks you go, the less you have true believers, and the more you have people who are going to be like, I'm not killing our new recruits. Looks different. Kind of. Actually looks similar. It was less glowy. This is a training ground. Got this side staircase like Ganon's tower.
Aizen, when and how did Ifrit disappear exactly? And how did you two meet in the first place?
You know, you ask an awful lot of questions about us.
Huh.
What? I don't mean to pry, really. Perhaps it's a habit I picked up from my work. Drat. It seems I've been digging too hard.
No matter. Ifrit vanished about a year ago. He agreed to fight a duel against someone, and secretly left to meet his opponent. Once we figured out what was happening, we rushed to the scene. But all we found was the aftermath of a fight, and a pendulum.
Was Zavid his opponent?
Given his choice of weapon and his ability to fight, I'd say it's likely.
What I don't get
Cash
is why
money.
Ifrid would end up captured and imprisoned by the Abbey after a fight with a stray Moloch.
The Abbey had him prisoner?
On their island. Until an exorcist named Melchior took him away, that is.
What? Lord Melchior did?
The Abbey would have captured Ifrid about a year ago. Surely it must have caused quite a stir.
I was simply patrolling. I wasn't involved in any such operations. Oh, but I do remember that we suffered a great number of casualties around that time. I never heard why, and when I went to investigate, I found no records of any major deployment. And then I was ordered to cease any such investigation by Lord Melchior.
That's fishy.
He wanted to hide something, clearly. And I think I'm starting to get a picture of what it was.
And it involves the Abbey?
The other floor stays down. Is this the Wind Temple, or is this the Tower City in the outskirts? The Tower City was in the middle of a desert, though. This is the Tower City's layout. Because of the tower in the middle. How many of these towers exist? Or did this... I mean, I don't see how a valley with geysers becomes a desert. Because you'd have to flatten it. That's the problem. Now maybe it's years and years of erosion. But we're also kind of wondering how far before Zestiria is this game. Even if it's after Zestiria, you're left with the same question. How did a desert become a mountainous valley? That would require a long time for a lot of geysers to basically mess up the landscape this much. Halberd. I do have half a mind to give her a better weapon for this fight. And give her that spear. Oh, we can see in. Who's in there? That's probably Ifrid. It looks like someone is quite literally in a crucified position. I should probably check in there. Explore the rest of the mystery tower later. Can't see anything else in there, just our prisoner.
This is good. Ifrid.
So, this is Von Ifrid.
Anchor earrings.
Eisen, it's good to see you again.
So you're alive. You could have sent a letter.
When have you ever written a letter to another man?
It is a good hat.
True. Aside from my little brother, not even once.
Your brother? Ah, yes. You told me that once.
What?
Eisen, why?
I've got no brother.
Oh.
Enough of your tricks.
Edna.
Thanks for luring him out. I owe you one.
Zavid.
Now come on out, you old coot.
Lord Melchior.
Was that Edna or was that an Easter
Breaking
egg?
through my double illusion. Impressive.
I make it a point not to fall for the same tricks twice.
I shouldn't have let you get away last time. I won't make that mistake again.
I saw a fourth one come out and I thought,
What? Why am I here?
Her consciousness has returned, so that is its power.
He turned her into a demon.
and Eleanor just saw that happen.
Happening?
Wow. Pack of dragons.
A chain reaction. Your Reaper's curse is quite the dreadful affliction, isn't it?
Don't you run away!
All right, Safid, you deal with him.
Heads up! Wyvern's coming!
All right, there's 3. They're weak against Earth, which makes it good that I have a lot of that turned on here. Yeah, let's go to work.
Why would an exorcist create a demon?
Hey, worry about that later. We've got damn dragons to take care of.
Ready to die? Think you can dodge? Just try. Perfect mayhem! Hold up!
Getting stuck!
I really want to use a Panacea bottle. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Let's go!
I have no souls to deal with, and I have no blast gauge to work with. Looks like we get healed again now. We appear to be dealing with the fight anyway.
Looks like you got
Yo.
caught in your own trap, old man.
Oh, are you sure about that? What the?
I'll take care of the last one.
Oh. If only he would just say.
He just saved the wyvern?
You folks jump in and kill without a second thought. Is that your creed?
Marvelous. Your Siegfried is just the power I've been looking for.
What?
My work here is done.
The hell did you do? Wait, damn you! Follow them!
Scatterburst. I thought it was gonna be this. But I can wait for 8 seconds.
Take a look. Scout ship.
I'll take the extra firepower. You okay?
Where the hell did they go?
Find them. They can't have gotten far.
I can only assume they went up. I don't like that, oh, it requires 100, no, I have 100, it needs 140 to open. I don't like that, it's like I've been collecting them like crazy and there's one I can't get. Only hearing it is pretty wild. I guess Proto's like mostly listening. There's nothing up here. A light. I guess I went in the cave.
Damn, you sure got some speedy legs for an old fart.
I'm glad to see you're okay, Zavid.
It's not me that I'm worried about.
Melchior was highly interested in your weapon. And yet he didn't steal it. Surely a legate like him could snatch it if he wanted to.
Why bother stealing it when you can just copy its hidden formula? Some arts can decipher the workings of other arts in a split second. And guess what Melchior's specialty is?
As he left, he said, "My work here is done."
The Abbey must have some use for that unknown art. Who knows what? After all, they brought it here from another continent.
And we'll find out what they're after and crush it to dust.
Let me ask you just one question. Why do you have Siegfried?
I'm counting on you, he said. Back when I served the Exorcists, they sent me on a mission to capture Ifrid.
Zavid, you were once their slave?
Yeah, my mind was under the influence of Inominat's domain. But when Ifrid aimed this baby at me, one shot was all it took to open my eyes. The fight we had after that was one for the books. He might have been a human, but that guy was a beast. Put a song in my soul. But then Melchior had to jump in and spirit Ifrid away with one of his damned illusions. That old bastard, playing tricks with people's minds.
But why'd he grab Ifrid and not Siegfried when he had the chance?
He probably didn't know at the time that this guy was the real prize he was after. But Ifrid knew. Right before he was taken, he distracted Melchior long enough to hand Siegfried over to me. Well, that's all I know. Whether you believe me or not is up to you.
Got it. We're done here.
Huh? That was easy.
Ifrid only says I'm counting on you to people he trusts.
Is that so?
Alternatively, he was out of options.
What are you gonna do now?
Gotta keep looking for Ifrid. Still gotta give this back and settle our score.
I doubt you have much time left to get that done.
I'd hazard a guess that until now, Melchior was unaware what Siegfried could really do. In other words, he and the Exorcists weren't able to interrogate anything out of their captive.
And now that Ifrid's no longer needed, I see no reason for them to keep him alive.
You think I don't know that?
If you really want to save Ifrid, you probably ought to team up with us.
He's actually right.
Nope. No can do.
Why not?
I was already in a game.
To achieve your goals. Even kill.
I mean, I will be in a game. I mean, I hate temporal mechanics.
Sorry, I'm a fighter, not a killer. I won't steal a single life. That's just my creed.
And I've got no intention of changing our pirate creed either.
Eisen and Zavid have their own creeds. They both have such strong principles, even though they're so different.
Just like humans.
Just like humans.
Well, that was sure something. Melchior and his illusions are cheats.
There's no cheating in combat.
What
True.
I meant is that they were awfully dirty tricks for an upstanding exorcist.
And the illusions seemed so real. Had that gone on any longer, I wouldn't have been able to tell what was real and what was fake.
If it can't be distinguished from reality, perhaps one could live a happier life within the illusion.
That sort of happiness can rot.
You think so?
But by using illusions, you can defeat an opponent without causing them any physical harm.
Oh, how humane. Wow, the Abbey is so great.
Lord Melchior is an exemplary man who has served Lord Artorias since before the Abbey's founding. He's done everything from logistical planning to defense strategy and even political negotiations. He shows the utmost concern, even for his opponents, so...
He turned a friendly Moloch into a dragon.
that was...
Physical wounds can heal. Emotional wounds never fully fade.
Yeah, but...
Don't lose heart, Eleanor. Foul play is foul play, but you're talking to a demon and a witch. Who can judge?
I appreciate that you're trying to console me, but as an exorcist, I cannot accept this.
Man, that's kind of depressing that I came all the way up here and I had really one encounter. Literally the only thing in the entire tower was that. Who was the boss of the Wind Temple? Was it a wyvern?
I wish I had power like that.
There's a plant up there. Who else wants to be a little depressed with me? So I have 126 cat souls now. And by entering another area, it respawns a few. It might be faster for me to just grab those three a lot. Now I have 140. Dragon's got it. Now I have 140 cat souls, so I can go all the way back up the stairs here just to open the cat chest. Kind of hoping this room might have something else in it when I come back in. Feels like a room that might have a second trigger in it for later in the game. Maybe it's too soon. Yes. I said warp me to a town, it only took me outside the dungeon.
Don't waste my
It's okay.
Here's your justice! Fight in order! Make it like that!
For fun! Hold up!
Move like psycho! Move like dragon! Move like psycho! Move like dragon! Move like psycho! Move like dragon! Eleanor, release to me! Here it comes! Tap-tap! Here it comes! Take the habit! Slowly walk like my own double! Take the habit!
It appears that we're finished here.
Wait a minute. I'm back on this screen. And this is where there was supposed to be a barrier before. The impregnable gates. Literally spawned in front of me. So why did we come through the port earlier? The east tunnel. Oh, there's two. Huh.
I thought I smelled someone pondering. What's on your mind, Laphicet?
I know Siegfried comes from another continent and all, but do you know anything else about it, Ropero?
Nope, can't say I do. All I care about are swords. That contraption doesn't interest me much.
I suppose that makes sense. But it looked real powerful.
Just guessing based on how we saw Zavid use it, I'd say it amplifies his power somehow.
An amplifier. It's true that he seemed to get stronger when he fired it at himself.
Yeah, and it gave that dying legendary wyvern enough strength to escape.
But wasn't it also what he used to dispel Melchior's illusions back there?
That was also amplification. The Malachim are the source of his arts. The relic pushed them past their limits and kablooey.
Suffice it to say, it can be used both offensively and defensively. It must be very hard to master.
More important is what the Abbey plans to do with it. Not that I really care.
Laphicet? May I ask you something?
What is it?
The girl with the umbrella from Lord Melchior's illusion. What is her connection to Eisen? I don't think he'd answer if I asked him myself.
I don't know. I was wondering about her as well. She was pretty, wasn't she?
Oh, so you like a girl who's cute, but with a bit of sophistication.
Really? I thought his type was more like
Shh.
What's going on?
We were discussing a delicate topic. Laphicet's first crush, if you must know.
Oh.
No, we weren't. We were just talking about the umbrella girl from the illusion.
The umbrella girl. That illusion made Eisen hesitate. She must be really important to him.
Indeed. It must be a deep, naughty relationship.
Come on now.
Like a wife he wants to leave but he can never let go. Or a lover from whom he can't move on.
No, that's too wild, and she's too young.
Yeah, it's not that. What's more likely for a self-serving pirate is a daughter from a woman who only knows him by a fake name, perhaps one whom he cast aside, or who cast him aside!
And maybe she was somebody he couldn't marry for some reason. But when she died, he raised her daughter for her.
He had been friends with her since they were children, but they only realized their true feelings after they had been married to someone else!
Is this their idea of romance? In any case, beware of girls, Laphicet.
Right.
Beware. Bazonga theories. I don't need everything that's around here right now, but I do want to grab more souls because I'm out. Or at least I was out. I wonder how many ore fragments I'm up to. That was nice when I had 400 of those things.
Victory is ours.
Hey, is everyone all right?
I actually do want to go this way. Yeah, that's almost topped off again. Up by 6, so plus 18. 105, this is already past 105. Not worth spending the floor right there. It's like the one thing with her that's going to be interesting to keep in mind. I'm more interested in her magic power than I am her attack power. One that really needs to get boosted. These better charms. That might be a better belt, actually. That's why it's like so annoying to actually look at equipment in this game. And of course the wards are where it's actually useful to have some of these boosts go. Alright, after a bathroom break, that's happening.
Take a look at this.
Nice! There's no better victory than a safe return.
Nice. Ooh, got another pirate flag.
Scout ship setting sail.
Keep going, I guess. Guess I need to come here. I think actually I'm gonna give him the other one. I'm not done yet. Just being slow. I don't really care about the lower level equipment. Balmy fluid is almost topped off again. Oh my goodness. He's got a long time to go with the gleaming daggers. I don't want to like boost that too much. He's almost done there. I think Armstrong was still the better weapon. I've wanted you to still get that skill. And that's obviously the magic booster. I feel like that's where I actually want her to go. He's thinking about it. It's easy to boost that at least. And down here, of course, Floric is the strongest thing they've got. Get some bronze scraps back. I don't think I really need anything else that's here. That just raises the level of the shop more. I don't even really need that. I'm gonna need more than 75 at a time to boost this thing. You can see it kind of inching up, but it's not close. Wastrel? One who has spent a ton of gold.
Now what are we gonna do? What's wrong?
This dog came up with a book in its mouth. Here, take a look.
Huh. It looks pretty old. I've never seen this kind of writing before.
It's not ancient Avarost, that's for sure. Part of it looks like a chronology, so maybe it's a history book?
Kids know the
If
word
I were to
chronology.
guess, I'd say they're Meliodosian characters, which would peg it at about 2,000 years old. It's more recent than Avarost, but the writing has fallen completely out of use.
All kinds of notes are written throughout the book, too. Someone must have been studying it. If it's research material, that might make it Videl's book. Videl? Who's that?
That name sounds familiar.
He's a weird kid who's way into studying history. He lives at the inn.
Could you maybe deliver the book to him for us? We were told not to get too close.
Yeah, sure. I guess.
Wait a minute.
My book! My book! Where could I have left it?
Are you Videl? Is this yours?
My book! Oh, that book is super important to me. Thank you.
I'm Laphicet. I hope you don't mind that we flipped through some of it. Can you actually read Meliodosian script?
You recognize Meliodosian writing? That's unusual in this day and age.
Oh, it's not that big of a deal, really.
When I grow up, I want to be an adventurer who travels the world and explores lots of ruins. So to make sure I'm ready for anything, I've been studying ancient history, starting with the Era of Darkness.
The Era of Darkness? You're referring to the Dark Period, right?
Right. Almost no written records from the age have survived. But if you compare the history before and after, you can tell something major must have happened.
Wow, that's fascinating.
I know!
Look at those two, all worked up over an old book.
My little brother was just like that too. Luffy and our brother used to.
We've received reports of suspicious persons in the area. Have you seen anything?
Not good. They're onto us.
Quickly, hide in my house.
That's the inn. I mean, maybe you're the innkeeper's son, but...
Videl, have you seen anyone suspicious recently?
Sorry, sir. I've been absorbed in my book.
That's all right, thanks. Look, I know it must be tough living alone with your mom. Just remember, your father's a praetor. He's out there fighting to protect us all. Keep your chin up for his sake at least, all right?
Uh-huh.
Thanks for your help, Videl.
Videl, your father is an exorcist?
Yeah, he is. But don't worry, I won't say anything about you and your friends. I'm your friend too.
Really?
And to prove it, I'll let everyone in on a big secret. This book tells you how to make an Omega Elixir, an incredibly ancient and powerful medicine. If I'm reading it right, you need 5 ingredients in order to create the elixir. I've only translated one of them so far, but I'll tell you what it is.
That's really nice of you, Videl. But I don't have any way to repay you for this.
Oh, please, think nothing of it. I'd just like it if you came and talked with me again sometime.
Of course. What are friends for?
The Omega Elixir. That's an ancient medicine said to be able to cure any disease. But it was my understanding that no samples or recipes survived the Era of Darkness.
Meliodacian script was used prior to the Era of Darkness, so I guess it's possible that Videl's recipe might be legit.
He's just a kid. I don't know
I figured
how much
out how
we
to
can
set up the
trust
Met
his
game in front of me.
translation.
You saw his notes. I doubt many adults could even get anything out of that book. He might be onto something.
Kids are more capable than we give them credit for, especially where their interests lie.
I think we can trust Videl.
Luffy used to read books intently like that too.
Furthermore, couldn't a hypothetical Omega Elixir be quite useful to you, Velvet?
Luffy-zette, you look like you really want to track down those ingredients.
Yeah, I do.
Personally, I don't really care. But if you want to look for them, I won't stop you.
Okay.
Intriguing. I think the implication is we could cure the demonic infections or whatever. Though at the same time, then we wouldn't be able to actually fight demons. So it's weird. Oh, fun. They are onto us.
This big storm came and swept me out to a Class 4 island, and let me tell you, it's as bad as the rumors make it sound. I wanted to just wait it out in a shipyard somewhere, but then the water turned all gooey. Then I had these jellyfish things coming onto the deck. And
Sorry.
before I knew it, slugs were swimming around in the damn ocean.
Wouldn't the salt in seawater mess up a slug?
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but these weren't no sea slugs neither. It was scary, I'll tell you that much. You want my advice? Stay the hell away from that island altogether. But if you do go, watch out for that gooey stuff.
What did that pirate mean by Class 4? I've never heard of that.
It's a classification the Abbey uses to help inform their strategy, an estimation of how well they've been able to manage the demon outbreak in an area. Administrative Zone Classes 1 through 3 have been assigned a suitable contingent of exorcists to guarantee the population's safety.
So, Class 4 administrative zones are ones that are still unsafe?
In a perfect world, the entire kingdom would be protected, but there's just not enough manpower to go around. The Abbey doesn't send exorcists to remote areas and far-off islands. Instead, they avoid casualties by making those areas off-limits.
But that pirate mentioned he'd come close to an island. Are those policies actually enforced?
They send out an official notice to stay away, and that's all. It's not like they could blockade every tiny remote island out there. So you're free to dive into the deep end if you want, but no one will come to your rescue. Hope you know how to swim.
If they could keep the demons in check, they wouldn't have to tell people to stay clear. Frankly, I think the Abbey just doesn't want to go near places like that.
It's a little bit of both.
In other words, these are dangerous places that the Abbey has washed their hands of.
Makes you wonder how much they can administrate these places when they're not willing to get their hands dirty.
Are there many Class 4 administrative zones?
I've heard of 10 such regions in my time working as an inspector for the Abbey, but I'm afraid I couldn't tell you their exact locations or their current status.
If the Abbey abandoned this island, it's probably safe to assume that it's getting to be pretty dangerous.
If we go there, we're gonna want to be prepared.
Oh boy. See, a truthful play should at least be like Class 4. We can't handle this. Class 5, we don't want to handle this.
Demons! There's more of them. A whole band of them rampaging through Roark Forest.
There was already one dangerous demon in those woods, and now we have more, and they're still on the loose. A lot of exorcists have come to deal with them, but...
What do these demons look like?
That's what I want to know. Those Abbey people won't tell us nothing. Every time a demon comes around, it's all, show us your cargo this, and don't leave port for a while that. How are we supposed to catch any fish?
These demons really are a pain in the neck. If I was an exorcist, I'd lay down some justice, I tell ya. At the end of the day, it's not the demons or the exorcists that have it rough. It's us normal folk.
Anyway, you guys should be careful. There are demons about.
Good, Cespedes the old days. Justice in spades. Now the question is, are they going to cover third with Cespedes at second?
First mate! You're all right!
Sorry to worry you.
And the captain?
It turned out to be a fake. But now I know the real one's still alive somewhere.
Well, of course he is.
Not that he has a lot of time left.
What do you mean?
Calm down. I'll explain later.
Eisen... You stay calm too, okay?
And you've all taken your Salatoma?
Yes, sir.
And nobody died?
All still kicking.
Compared to your curse, sir, this sickness was tiny potatoes.
Tiny potatoes.
All right. Then let's get ready to sail out.
Already done, sir. We're ready whenever.
The Pirate's Creed, huh?
There's worse out there.
He did steal third, even though the shift was off. Nice. Look at that. The lizard man and the suit of armor are fishing. Alright, we actually have access to a side quest. Cespedes okay? Are they trying to say it's a challenge to play? He's going to be safe, but I could see where he might have jammed a finger. It's an odd looking place. I was kind of expecting a bigger looking place. But okay. One-offs aren't exactly bad. Huh.
Is that a fighting arena of some sort? I don't see any demons around.
Look! There's something spewing out of the middle!
So easy to
I
miss.
sense a really malicious force emanating from it.
It's probably the vengeful spirits of those who fought and died here looking for glory!
Thanks for that. Now I've got goosebumps.
Let's try not to wind up as more vengeful spirits.
This'll do.
We can do this!
Let's go!
No mercy! Wounds that will be
I'm already close to having another 3 bars. Oh, I missed the double. You're still here? That's got 2 more runs. I'll take it.
Unarmed? Hardly.
It's kind of waiting for another wave.
What'll it take to make you go all out?
Looks like we won't be joining the party.
I can see why this place is the stuff of cautionary bedtime stories.
Not to mention why the Abbey's keeping way the hell away.
We shouldn't let our guard down. But this place could still be a good chance to hone our combat skills.
Indeed. Most everything we fought here seems to follow a pattern. This is a good place for tactical training.
If we ever end up on another island like this one, we should
That was nifty. Cespedes is leaving the game. You?
It's too bad that wasn't the real Ifreed. But I'm glad everyone on the ship is feeling better.
Yeah. Though it sounds like they never want to touch that Salatoma stuff ever again.
What about Eleanor?
She took it too. And her face went all wow.
I don't mean how she looked. I mean how she actually feels.
Oh. Well, she looks like she feels better too.
Good.
You're worried about her, aren't you, Velvet?
No. It's nothing like that.
Let me tell you something, kiddo. When young maidens ripen, they have trouble expressing their feelings.
So Velvet's... ripen?
Mogilu! Quit giving Laphicet confusing thoughts.
No trouble expressing those feelings, I see.
This game.
The Abbey is supposed to exist to bring peace and order to the world. Everything the Abbey does, everything Lord Melchior and Shepherd Artorias do, it ought to be rooted in that mission. And yet, something just doesn't feel right here.
You are dismissed. That knowledge is not for you.
Something wrong? Whoa! Easy there. Just asking.
Sorry. I was just deep in thought. Is there something you need from me?
Nah. Just heard a bunch of sighs and wondered if you were feeling sick or anything.
No, I drank my Salatoma juice.
Ah. Tasted like crap, didn't it?
The speed of
It wasn't
cutscenes.
that bad.
Hey,
What?
are you afraid of demons?
No, I am not. It's more like I despise them. 10 years ago, a group of them attacked my village. They destroyed everything. And everyone.
Including your family?
Yes. The only family I had at that point was my mother. And in all the chaos, she... I have left of her is this hand mirror she gave me. I didn't want anyone else to have to feel the way I did. And so I became an exorcist in order to destroy demons. So you can keep your pity.
Gotcha. I will then.
I guess the other dot down there is not a port city. I don't think she likes him. I think she's realizing that you can have good demons and evil angels.
What is that?
That's called a penguin, a type of bird native to this area.
Penguin.
Their meat is succulent and tender, and makes a lovely stew.
Huh.
Wow, what's it taste like?
Chicken.
You'd eat that poor thing? Savage.
You're one to talk, demon.
I may be a demon, but I have taste.
It was one of my mother's specialties.
All right, enough of the chit-chat. Magilu, what's this grimoire friend of yours like?
Well, how do I put it? Oh. You know, like that.
Like what?
Well, to put it in a way those of meager imagination can understand, Grimm's got a sort of listless, aristocratic air about her. A noble woman in her twilight, you could say.
Huh. So you mean like a woman, but different from Velvet and Eleanor.
You're not wrong there. Tell you what, just keep an eye out for a grown woman.
Grown woman. Okay, I got it.
Well, since we got her name, we could start by asking around.
Exactly. Now you're talking. What's up, kiddo?
Magilu, you're a grown woman yourself. So why is it you have trouble clearly expressing your real feelings?
Good question. Put simply, a long time ago, mine broke. Bagow! Chapoom! Bye-bye!
Your feelings broke?
Come on. Let's question the townsfolk.
Take a look at... Scout ship...
And they already got through that, so it's like, now what?
I'm ready for this.
Look at that.
This fight is over.
Let's try this one more time. I think I didn't beat the goal time of 12 seconds. Or did I actually just do that anyway? It's her third attack that's throwing it off, because I'm doing it slower this time, actually.
This fight is over. I'm ready for this. over.
That was a decent chunk, but let's see. Okay, good, I can get that. Battle music 1. Oh my god. Why are these options? Ooh. There's an achievement in Tales of Berseria to use every save point. Thus this save. It might have been to only touch every save point, but whatever.
It's become common practice to use Southgan lumber for shipbuilding, but there's a reason. Our trees really are the best for it.
Natant trees only grow in Southgand. Their wood is light, tough, and doesn't rot. Perfect for shipbuilding.
You know your stuff. Long ago, before people knew how to build seafaring vessels, Midgan and Southgan were separate countries. Then our ancestors fashioned rafts out of Natant logs and floated all the way to Midgand. A Midgand craftsman, amazed to see a humble raft cross the open sea, returned with our ancestors here to Southgand.
He had used the Natant logs to build a large, sturdy ship.
Thanks to him, commerce took off between Midgand and Southgand, and the Age of Exploration began. The excitement of a new age had everyone floating on air, but within mere decades, Midgand declared war on Southgand.
Ironically enough, it was ships made from trees from their islands that enemies used to invade them.
The fighting continued for a long time, but in the end, Midgand emerged the victor. Our islands were occupied. As hard as things were, our ancestors still liked to joke about it. They'd say, Age of Exploration, more like Age of Exploitation.
When things were that bad, they could still joke about it?
Southganders have always been a cheerful bunch. We tend to look for the silver lining in every cloud. It may not seem like it these days, but Southgand used to be a place where the laughter would never cease. Some people even used to call it Shinanigans.
Shinanigans. This must have been a really
Starting to like build up the list of towns I'm gonna have to go back to here. go. I see the secret fort.
Still no leads on that grimoire lady.
Magilo, when did you get that letter from her you mentioned?
Hard to say. It must have been last year? A decade ago?
Take this seriously, or I'll feed you to the sharks.
Oh, what? I think I'd at least rate a kraken.
Keep this up and I swear I'll eat... It's them!
The final preparations are complete. Once you've assumed your new post, everyone will act on your command.
Thank you, sister.
But
to be honest, I worry
his
that these
eyes
shoes I'm
fixed
filling
yet?
might just be a bit too big for me.
Or is he a demon
You
now
need
too?
not worry. You possess a special strength and quality that others lack. Shepherd Artorias has high hopes for your deployment to Palamedes. Fear not. Just be yourself and you'll do fine. Believe you're a leader, and you will be.
Yes, I'll try to make you proud, sister.
They're sending him to Palamedes? Is that the name of a facility on this island?
I had better get going.
Safe travels.
Oh, one more thing. Be careful around the demon in Haria. It's stronger than it looks. We've even had some casualties.
Understood.
Also, if you must drink the water, remember to boil it.
Sister...
I know, I worry too much. But I just can't help myself.
This organ music's a little over the top for even a
So, there's a
theocratic
demon in
evil
Haria.
organization.
Sounds like it's a pretty feisty one, too.
If so, it may prove useful.
Hey, there he goes off to the
Still,
side.
what magical timing for Oscar to show up here at the very same hour we do.
I understand your suspicion of me, but have you any proof?
None, it's true. But as an exorcist, you're certainly sympathetic to the Abbey's cause.
And soon you may wish we were sympathetic.
Eleanor hasn't been snitching on us. I'm sure of it.
And how would you know? Are you watching her even when she's taking a bath?
Huh? No, I don't. I always stay outside when she's taking a bath. And...
Then isn't it possible she's communicating with the Abbey in secret while you're not there?
You pledged to obey me until the day you die, correct?
Yes, that I did.
Calm down, everybody.
Remember, when you two trade blows, only the Abbey wins.
One less demon, and one less traitor for them to worry about.
while we're standing around here arguing, that demon could be attacking Grimoire.
He's right.
It's true. Let's find some more people to question around town. So what's it really like?
Huh?
The connection between Moloch and Vessel. Do you share, like, thoughts and feelings?
Sort of. When I'm dwelling inside Eleanor, I can see what she sees and hear what she hears. But I can't read her thoughts or her emotions. Sitting in a box doesn't teach you how the box feels.
I see. In that case, I want to give her as little time alone as possible.
I don't want to bathe with her, alright?
I know. You're a boy and all. For her baths, we can send Bienfu. No, that's a bad idea. It'll have to be Magulu, or myself.
Phew!
What sort of boundaries have you and Eleanor drawn? How do you sleep?
We talk before bed sometimes, but it's not like I'm sleeping by her side or anything. It's easier for me to tell when she wakes up if I'm dwelling inside her.
Does she ever get out of bed at night?
Not in my experience. And she sleeps so peacefully.
Huh?
When she's around you guys, she always looks so stern. But when she's sleeping, her expression is softer, you could say. She lets her hair down too. And I think it's kind of prettier that way.
Huh. So that's what he likes. Well, keep an eye on her, but...
But?
Watch out for the older girls.
Huh?
Damn it, anime.
Teresa and Oscar sure seem close.
I've known them since I was an initiate, but I've never seen them quarrel, not even once.
Did you ever fight with your brother, Velvet?
Yeah, I guess I did. Sometimes I'd chew him out, and he'd sulk and stop talking to me, but I found that adorable too.
You did?
No matter how much he dug in his heels, or tried to talk like he was in charge, after a while he'd be right there trailing along behind me.
Like a little puppy dog.
Puppies are a lot more obedient. I always had to keep an eye on him. Little brothers are odd creatures.
Rokuro's a little brother. Is he adorable too?
Huh? I don't think a little brother who's out to kill you is in any way adorable.
But Shigure seemed like he was having fun.
Sometimes you just don't make sense.
I mean, he's right.
Huh? I don't know.
Little brothers.
Do you have any siblings?
I'm an only child.
Well then, that's perfect. You pretend the boy is your little brother.
Huh?
That's a bit extreme, but actually, when I'm talking with Laphicet, sometimes I think, this is what having a brother must feel like.
I could be Eleanor's brother.
Don't take any of this nonsense seriously, Laphicet. Malachim are just tools to exorcists. She can never think of you as her brother.
Oh, yeah.
You're wrong. I've changed how I view Malachim. I know that's true because I can think of him as a brother.
Right.
She's all talk. Don't believe her.
It seems to me like you're the one who's treating him as a tool, by forcing your own opinions upon him.
Ooh, two sisters struggling for the affections of their brother. Eeny teeny candlestick, which one will the Muppet pick?
How about an older brother instead?
Yo, shoutouts to family. Family is still asleep. Feldspar. Howdy all the way down, huh? There you go. Well, I didn't spend too much time focusing on some stuff. Not enough to boost it all the way. Balmy fluid. Make some room for that. Pickled worm meat, I'm just gonna top off again anyway. I have a bunch of these apparently. That's a fragment at least. Ooh. That's still not enough to boost the... One of those. And that would just be a good one to have. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, this doll? It looks like Bienfu.
Ah, a keen eye you have, young man. That is a doll of the Empyrean Aminoch.
That's Empyrean Aminoch?
Yep, no doubt about it. I've seen her with my own eyes. Real dignified, but not without a bit of a temper.
You saw her? Why was she angry?
Well, the Abbeys banned any profession of the Aminochian faith in Southgand, despite her popularity. Gotta assume that's what got her all bent out of shape. I tried talking to her, but no matter what I said, she was just like, oh.
Wait, that sounds like... And that low-energy goddess you saw? The doll you've got here looks like her?
Yeah, more or less.
Ha! Fortune smiles upon thee, weary adventurers. That listless goddess is none other than Grim.
Grimoire isn't human?
When did I ever say she was? So, shopkeep, where'd you see her?
I think it was down by McClear Beach.
Pensively watching the tide come in? That's her, all right. Quickly, to the beach!
Why didn't you mention grimoires a Moloch before now?
You can't be too careful with that information. Spies, spies listening everywhere!
Oh, muscles. Muscles. I actually probably should go through these at some point again. Attack by 2. Gotta use steroids. Oh, there's more messages in town now. And a game somewhere. The second of these guys. I don't know this character. Gotta get the brother-sister combo. Let's see other Symphonia characters out there on the board. I'm gonna get Raven though. I've got Berseria on that side too now. Daus? Ooh, Symphonia character. I don't have any Symphonia cards. What does that mean? End the round. I don't get to go first in either of these. I'm not taking the traitor. Oh, that's Jude. Tim Tebow. I don't get what I'm doing here, honestly. I guess I finally get to go first in a round. Get Aspel off the board. I don't remember top left girl at all. I don't understand this game at all, and I think I'm about to lose because of it. Why didn't that pick up that card? This card game doesn't make much sense, and I don't have the patience to understand it. Still got his eyes closed. What was that? We went to the island. Not yet. Oscar and Teresa are here. Also, the translator is a Norman.
Southgand originally worshipped Amanoch, the Empyrean of water. The lives of the people of the Southern Isles are inherently tied to the sea. Whether it was gratitude for a good catch.
But the Abbey worships Innominat, don't they? Do the people still keep their faith?
Most of the people obey the will of the Abbey. But the village is called Haria. And even now, I'm grateful that they fight off the demons. I really am.
They think they do. It's their truth. Then again, they can't control what's in your heart, can they?
That was definitely a card game.
Take a look.
Nice.
Scout ship.
Still looking for stuff.
What does it mean to become an adult?
The eternal.
Have you ever heard of the ceremony of adulthood?
If I remember right, it's totally wild. Everyone throws bananas and oranges at each other.
Traditionally, yes, but things have changed. People are always reaching for bigger and better things, right?
Watermelons.
You're throwing watermelons? That's gotta hurt.
Trust me, I know. But watermelons are the least of...
Coconuts.
Trust me, I know. Like getting hit with a...
You don't mean they...
Yeah, I've kept putting it off myself, but it looks like... That's crazy. It's far too dangerous.
There are ancient traditions that say overcoming danger marks a child's coming of age.
You've hit the nail on the head. There are lots of old... The hypocrites. Back then, they used bananas and watermelons. They even cracked the watermelons ahead of time.
I don't think cracking a coconut would help much either.
So that's why you're standing about looking blue.
I'm so ashamed of...
If you don't want to do the ceremony...
I'd love to, but I don't really have a choice.
Having the courage to say no to something...
Wait! You're right!
And getting carried away with yourself and acting the...
Sorry.
Aww. Getting carried away is the mark of immaturity. I'm good. Let me find a save point. Okay, hang on. Alright, this should be back on. Alright, so somewhere on this beach is a Norman just looking at the waves who happens to be some ancient expert who hates Magli Maglu.
Beautiful waters. So this is Muckler Beach.
I hope she's actually here. Let's get started! No mercy! Won't that one
You're not hurt, are you?
Thought I hit R somewhere in there.
I'm fine.
Such a low attack power. Did that make it? No, he caught it. Dang. That's such a low threshold to get attack +5 out of it.
I'll end this
There's the Nagas.
I did good, didn't I?
The big thing at this point is when will the... So much left on this.
Here I come.
I don't even know. It's probably not even worth it to gain that skill. She's actually she is the most powerful weapon and the highest attack power of anyone in the party. And I'm not using her because of that. I'm checking because I really am thinking about that.
If you want to live, get out of...
What did I just get? Master. What is it? Slowing capacity? I really don't care about that.
Victory is ours.
More floric ribbons. E2, prolonging at bat, but it's rolled a foul ball. I guess I have to go all the way over there.
You're fighting the Reaper.
You don't want to make me angry.
Oh.
Laffy said apologize for losing your temper.
Oh, sorry.
Come on, let the boy try to act tough.
More cats boxes that I can't open. Let's do this. Why does that have to be a new combo? Because I mean, seriously. Yeah, I used the finishing move, but I never really finished attacking. I'm already halfway to using the next one. Did I glitch out the game? Oh. Is the game figured out that I'm winning too easily? Why can't I do any damage to them? Thank you. Ugh.
Did you see my complete and utter victory?
So hang on. The crabs were unkillable. The snails that appeared were unkillable. Because as soon as we killed the bee, we were out. We were done. Oh, arts learned. But I have 100 pieces of equipment. But it's only on hard mode or higher. Eating worked. I don't think we actually got that much grade out of that because we needed to use some items. Well, it worked out because all 4 of them are gone now, so I did what I wanted to do. Bought 4 things at once. You.
Not even worth my time.
Let's do it!
Well, it's the same old, same old.
We're finished here. Let's go.
So I guess in theory I'm supposed to be able to get up to a 4th blast gauge now. That's
This
how the new
grimoire
thing
we were
works.
Searching for is a Moloch like Bienfu, right? To be honest, I don't see how someone so
I need
different
4
can be a Moloch
spirits
just the same as Laphis
and like
or
all the
Isaac.
blast gauges ever.
I understand your doubts. It's quite the tangly mess.
I'll tell you anything!
In that case, I've been wondering, what's underneath your hat?
Oh no! Anything but that!
So, we've hit a wall already.
But that ribbon flaps around and gets in the
Smaller
way,
hat.
right? Could I take it off for you?
No!
I missed the question.
That's not
Well, I guess that's what we're talking about.
the ribbon!
It's a smaller hat.
That's another thing I can't say!
It's all cans with you. Alright, is there anything you
That
can
apostrophe
tell
is
me?
misplaced.
I could talk about what type of Malachim we are, or our position in the world of Malachim, or our abilities.
Oh, I'd like to know all that.
Then I will tell you. Listen closely. We Norman are a well-established race of Malachim. Compared to other Malachim,
Weren't you in like one game?
adept at manipulating natural forces, but we excel at drawing out and heightening the abilities of others.
Think of them as a convenient power-up.
They're also known as common spirits.
Huh.
Don't even say that! We Norman hate being called that.
Why is it so painful for you?
Because it makes people think we're average and unremarkable. That's why we work so hard to show how we're all different.
That does explain your quirky speaking mannerisms.
Don't sweat it. That's a perfectly common thing to worry about.
Huh.
Don't say
I got it. Wearing a hat is a fine way to differentiate yourself, though. Also, there are penguins everywhere. Well, I guess you already saw some penguins. They're out there. A couple of penguins on the rock. Actually, it looks like I'm supposed to talk to a penguin on that rock.
You'll be rust on my blade.
Yeah, that fourth one's coming in. It's guarding a lot. Laffy, just keep using Everett's black tentacles.
Yeah, there are things worse than death.
I know, right?
Let's get started.
Isn't it crazy that all these people live on this island with level appropriate encounters? Oh boy.
Think you can dodge? Just try. Perfect mayhem. How's that? How's that? You're wide open.
If you want to live, get out of my way.
Strike Zui. Booking levels. Over here.
What are those penguins doing?
Probably keeping their eggs warm?
Most likely. They look like a mama and a papa. Penguins are monogamous, faithful creatures. They never leave their mate. Isn't that romantic?
So they lay eggs because they're like husband and wife. But how do they make the eggs?
That's... well...
So, Laffy said, here's an interesting fact. A single penguin egg actually contains dozens of smaller orange eggs.
Oh, so their eggs must be small and crunchy.
Yep. They have the texture of caviar and the rich flavor of sea urchins.
Interesting. So they're more like fish than birds.
So you've eaten them. How cruel.
Ah.
Look how much they care about their young.
While it may be a bit cruel, they taste amazing. They're considered a delicacy in some circles. Top a bowl of rice with these crunchy eggs and some rich penguin thigh meat, and you get a dish called family fricassee.
That's a horrific name.
I wasn't the one who named it, okay?
Those eggs look tasty, but I think I'll pass.
Speaking of killing birds. Same old, because I don't have 4 souls. Oh no, it looks like I do have 4 souls.
We won, right? Right?
Stupid bird. Dragon dive. One day I'll actually reach the other end of this screen. I mean, at least they don't make you climb down in this game. Yeah. I mean, okay, if that's what you mean. I don't have to keep doing this.
On to battle!
Oh boy. That was the one I was about to attack.
You won't get any pity or compassion from me.
Take a
Seawolf Fang, that's new.
I knew this would be big. What a treasure!
Those are Zestiria symbols. Mm-hmm.
Scout ship setting sail.
That crest. Is that?
Grimoire? She's moving away.
Also, Giant Iguana of Destiny is here.
A dragon?
No, just a big lizard demon.
Is it friends with Dial?
Is it friends with Dial? It's typing dragon. Let me see one thing. They just basically use a break out of an infinite attack.
Let's go! Ready to die? Think you can dodge? Just try! Perfect mayhem!
It is friends with our literal boiled Dial.
More like it's angry. Let's not enrage it any further.
It's building up strength. Be careful! Hold up!
Wait for that little thing to show 4, and it's not going to happen in this fight. Really? I was off by 78.
So she's the same sort of Moloch as Bienfu?
It would seem so.
You're Grimoire, right? We've been looking for you. We need your help. Who are you? I'm Velvet. I know your witch friend. Oh.
Grim, so wonderful to see you.
It's been forever!
Ah, you two. Still as outlandish a pair as ever, I see.
How exactly do you know her?
Witch training? She was an upperclassman.
And?
We found this fascinating ancient tome, and we were hoping you could read it for us.
Goodness, Magilu. You, of all people, joining a team? I didn't know you had it in you.
That keep me entertained.
Well, I don't need entertainment.
Bien! Come on, Grim! Isn't there any way you can help us?
It's not the kind of thing I do.
Oh, what a shame. Things happen. Well, we tried, didn't we?
Maybe you need some incentivizing. Do it. I'm serious. I bet you are. Your eyes tell me you're dangerous. Trouble follows you like a hawk tails a rabbit. And at my age, trouble is something I'd rather avoid.
How old are you?
Ask me again and you'll get a firework in the tush.
Wow.
My apologies.
It appears we've wasted our time.
A walk on the beach is never wasted, but sorry.
Well, how did you learn to read the ancient tongue? Are there books for studying it or something?
My. Are you actually thinking of learning it on your own?
Well, I love reading, and I want to learn more about history. Besides, we need what's in this book.
You have passion, child, I'll give you that.
Not to mention you want to be helpful to Velvet, don't you, kid?
Yeah.
My tuition isn't cheap, you know.
You will teach me?
No, I won't. But I admire your dedication enough to read it for you. Now where's this book?
Here it is, ma'am.
You needn't be so formal.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Not ma'am. Right.
Everybody loves a kid.
Let's see what we're looking at here. The language of ancient Avarost. Had to be the hard one, of course. A lot of wear and tear, too. This'll take some time. We're in a hurry.
That may well be, but this isn't the place for study. Let's move to someplace more comfortable.
You've redeemed yourself, young man. There's a village called Haria just a little ways away.
That works. Thank you.
Fine. Haria Village. Whatever gets the job done.
I apologize if I'm being rude, but I have to ask. You're not Aminoch the Empyrean, are you?
Of course I'm not. What would even make you ask such a thing?
A shop in Isolt was selling Aminoch figurines that looked just like you.
Oh, that. I distinctly remember whispering to the shopkeeper in his sleep, telling him not to sell those things.
You showing up in his dreams probably only convinced him you were the real deal.
You should sue for his use of your likeness and get proper compensation from that shopkeeper.
Forget it. It's no concern.
Yeah, you're right. It's not like they'd ever sell anyway.
Oh, you think a figurine of mine wouldn't sell?
You got this whole somber.
This is the marketing scheme right here. It's the in-game commercial.
Figurine needs to be cute, like me.
Then how about I turn you into a product?
Me? Really?
Oh yes. I'll have you stuffed and mounted. But since it'd be a unique piece, I'd have to price it a bit higher.
Mounted? No, count me out!
Oh, you're no fun. Now, what was it we were talking about?
Whether or not you are the Empyrean Aminoch.
Ah, yes, that's right. I'm no Empyrean. I'm just a simple girl.
So many plushies.
It would be hard for anyone to worship an Empyrean like me, right?
That's true.
God of sleeping on the beach.
I mean, it just seems like you're the type who can see through anything, so perhaps an Empyrean seems less intimidating from a certain point of view.
You're saying I'm scarier than an Empyrean?
Stop digging.
Not scarier exactly, just more of a savvy sort of woman.
That's not a bad answer, but it won't get you out of the doghouse.
Haria, isn't that the village with that demon that Oscar and Teresa were talking about?
I think it might be. We should remain on our guard.
You getting hungry? I'm getting there. This is the big monster.
But I'm this close. I want this. Form zero.
Remember when big monsters were actually hard? Halfway, well, not quite halfway home. He's trying to cast. Its defense is really high. Finally connected.
Whew, I thought we were done for.
great monster of the beach was guarding a panacea bottle. The other great monster of the beach. Was guarding a peach gel. Twofer.
Let's get started!
Oh, game.
I wish I had power like that. Don't get overcome.
I thought, I was hoping to get the bigger one.
Come on, really? That's Haria Village.
To the inn, one and all!
What am I equipping that thing for? Back power. I save it here for now. We figure out food. Yeah, because it's like 6:30 or something.